And it's the news angle, bitch. Welcome back to another episode. This is your boy D.
And it's your girl, CJ.
And it's the new reigning Miss America, Miss Quarantine 2020, Brandi.
I'm done. You're looking good, though. Looking good.
Thank
looking
you.
Good.
We should have like a virtual beauty pageant. And
We
just have
should.
to be, based off of your ideas to make the world a better place. I'm just kidding. It needs to be
Wow. Wow.
Just kidding.
I was going to keep it simple and say, let's just do a don't rush it challenge. Just the three of us.
Oh, yeah. Don't rush. I'm back and I look like D.
What if we did it and we all took each other's spots? And just put
that would actually be super
on.
cute. If we somehow everyone switched and I'm there with Heather, that would be that would be so funny.
Also
I like it.
Also creepy. Anyway, obviously it's quarantine time, so there's not much else going on in the world other than, the news about it, the fucking virus all day long. But there's always racial news in the news.
Listen, it doesn't matter if the world's going to end. We can count on racist people. Racist people will always make the time, okay?
Always.
I don't know. You know what, though? I want to start off with something light that Dee was talking about earlier, and it's about the strippers on the Vegas Strip.
Oh, no,
Not the
they're
strippers.
not
I'm sorry.
These are
Hookers.
strippers. These are hookers.
Hookers on the strip.
Why do you say hookers?
I don't know.
These are hookers.
Hookers. I don't know. These are hookers.
So, if for those of you watching or listening, we had a guest last week, Candace. So a friend of Candace sent her a video of hookers, real live hookers on Las Vegas.
Live.
Yeah,
not a post.
real hookers. So they weren't on Las Vegas Boulevard. So if you're familiar with Las Vegas, not sure if you guys are. There's a street called Tropicana, and that's where your lowbrow hookers are going to be found.
Okay.
And
affordable.
They were the discount Waddy Beaky hookers
not
are located on Tropicana. And they have masks on that match their outfits, and we thought it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny. The video that I saw, the girl was standing at the stoplight and she had on a really tight red evening dress, but it was maybe 2:00 in the afternoon.
Like a bodycon.
Yeah. She had on a red mask. That was the same red as her dress.
What? I ain't mad.
She got a match.
I ain't mad.
And she had on a red handbag. And it had her platinum blonde hair was crossing the street. Yeah.
Ooh.
She was doing the damn thing.
I'm not even sure that I'm mad about it. I feel like, if you're going to go all the way, go all the way. Go hard. Just do it up. I want to see somebody in a Galaxy outfit.
All right.
What? You ain't about to stop my business.
No show, boo. Not here. We finna match. We finna be cute.
But make that money. Don't let the money make you. Money. Shit. I mean... At least they're out there doing it.
Is that Players Club?
Yes, that's Players
Club. Players Club.
That was Players Club.
I just,
On top of having the hookers out there, didn't you say there were animals with them?
Oh, yeah, the ducks. Didn't you say there were ducks out there, too? Uh-oh, did he freeze?
Ducks hooking?
No, I know the ducks are not hooking. What?
I froze. Yes to both.
Did you say that?
I froze, and yes.
The ducks are hooking?
Wildlife is taking over again. So there have been... The ducks are hookers, yes.
I'm done.
They took over the blade. So the lady with the red dress, she was the last human that was seen hooking.
Oh, my God.
Hi, Patrick.
Lord, PJ's all up in our screen.
I didn't want nobody seeing your face. Now the world know what you look like. Go away.
But no, so
get out of here.
That seems to be
get out of here, kid.
Big thing now is that nature is coming back. I know we've said it on other episodes too, but different locations now, even more
Patrick,
coming up.
Turn on my light.
Sorry. Brandi's son, who is about, I think 13,
Patrick.
14. 13, messing with her. Do you hear him in the background? Jesus, look at her face. She's like,
oh, you can see my garage in my lap. Okay, not cool. Not cool. My camera came on.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, guys.
No, you're good.
But
I was wondering.
As I was saying before, yes.
Patrick, go away.
Patrick, you're messing up my story.
You're messing up the story.
But like I was saying, there's been numerous reports of large amounts of ducks in the various fountains and things around the Las Vegas Strip. So the biggest body of water on the Strip is Lake Bellagio, which is, of course, right in front of the Bellagio Hotel Casino. There's a lot of ducks in there.
There are ducks in there. I forgot.
Fountains. Yeah. So usually the fountain show will make
those. Okay, I was gonna say those are the ones that do the show. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So there's no show. So it's just a big ass lake, and the ducks
they are living their lives.
I'm sure they're pissed off that there's no food, but I mean, there's water for them and chilling. And I guess they're traveling north for the summer. I don't know what the fuck is going on in the wildlife, but they're all over the fucking Strip.
That's amazing.
And you would see occasional ducks from time to time due to all the fountains and everything that you have there, but there's like a lot right now. It's kind of crazy.
That's so weird. Speaking of nature turning things back into whatever's supposed to be naturally, let's talk about Kylie Jenner turning back into a white girl because she can't get tans. Have you guys seen this?
No.
I was so tickled when I saw the picture. I will post it tomorrow on our podcast page, but she has turned pale again.
I didn't know she was that pale.
She's pale, and it's trending to the point where I took a screenshot of this. There are people.
Let me look this up.
There are people who do not know that she was Caucasian.
You're lying.
I'm not kidding.
What did they think Jenner was?
Girl, they don't know. They don't know. It's not like us. We don't be like, oh, that sounds Puerto Rican, or oh, that sounds like it's Spaniard, or they don't do that. But no, for real. So Kylie Jenner, by the way, I was going to do a separate piece first about her looking like Beyonce recently and still copying her looks and stuff.
Oh, God, yeah. That picture.
You saw that.
I saw it a couple of weeks ago, and I'm not going to lie. When they put it in the shade room, I legit thought it was Beyonce for 2 seconds.
Yeah, when you're scrolling fast enough, it looks like Bey. And it's not. It's Kylie Jenner. And the fact that she went ahead and did her hair the same way, got the same outfits in different colors, different lengths, all of it. She's posing like her now. It was a lot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 2 separate posts for people to look at. One's going to be her as Beyonce, and one's going to be her as herself.
Not her as Beyonce. And it's her.
It is though.
Oh my God.
I mean, so
her
like
Beyonce.
People genuinely did not know that she was like white.
You know what? They're so used to just calling them all Kardashians. They probably thought she was Middle Eastern or what have you, like her sister.
Probably.
I think that's probably what that was. But
I think
she's
so.
Not.
Yeah, it's just, and then the fact that she almost looks like her old self, which is kind of scary probably for her since she spent so much money getting all those surgeries. Listen. But she kind of looks like what she should have looked like had she just grown up without all them surgeries and stuff. Like, it's amazing. I was like, somebody said fucking this quarantine done turned Kylie Jenner into a white girl again.
Look, I was like, yeah, she looks like more Caucasian.
Yeah. But the picture I have where she's getting into her car. By the way, she was barefoot going to the store and getting into her car. I don't know what that's about. White people, please stop doing it. Yeah, I said it. I said it.
Oh. You said black people wear shoes.
I don't get that. I remember this family across the street from me. My dad would be like, I don't know what's wrong with them. They never wear shoes inside the house. No, outside the house, but inside the house, they're walking around with shoes on.
You know, used to do that all the time, and I love her to death, but she used to say it. Britney Spears used to walk around barefoot, like at gas stations, girl. I could never at a
her
gas
little
station.
country bumpkin ass.
But
I'm
you know,
telling you,
I will get on some of the colors. Some of y'all, especially the females, when y'all feet be hurting y'all be trying to leave the club.
Oh, you can't be doing that.
And without shoes on, I'm like, no, you thug it out with your shoes on.
Either that or spend the $15 and get yourself those purse flats.
Yes.
It folds in.
Put it in your clutch or whatever.
I used to always be running around with it because I'd be like trying to be
like
cute.
That's genius. Or you just have somebody carry you.
Las Vegas Boulevard at 4 a.m. is a sight to see because it's all these girls that have been out all night.
Ain't got no shoes on?
Yeah, shoes off. Walk around with their hands in the hand like this in pain. And if you don't walk on any street, there's 2 streets in America that you should never walk on with no shoes on. The first, I'd say it's probably worse than the Strip, is Bourbon Street.
Bourbon Street.
And then the next one is Las Vegas Boulevard. Those 2,
yes.
Never.
I
There's
made
debauchery on those roads.
I made the mistake when I was out there for Essence Fest last year. of wearing flip-flops with my maxi dress. And they had like, well, not flip-flops, they were thicker strap sandals or whatever. But the point is, baby, took the mugs off when I went home and I saw the line of where my skin was clean and clearly where apparently it was dirty.
Right.
Because that's how gross it is out there.
Right. And that's what you wearing sandals.
Oh, no, you got to do sneakers. You got to have your feet covered.
It's got to be covered when you go to places like that.
Was gross.
So I had a friend that I went to New Orleans with semi-recently, like maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago. This fool dropped a slice of pizza on Bourbon Street and ate that shit. I almost threw up in my mouth.
Look at me and Brandi. We were just
He was like, I don't give a fuck. I'm not standing back in that line. Because the line to get that pizza was like 30 minutes. He was like, man, fuck that shit. I'm eating this pizza.
Make sure that tell that nigga, whoever your friend is, to watch out for this virus. That's
if anything, he's immune to the virus.
He's immune to the virus.
Because you eat a pizza off of Bourbon Street and you don't die. He's immune. That's secure.
That's true.
Everyone has to go to Bourbon Street and eat something off the ground. And that's going to cure it.
Maybe it was the 5-second rule. I don't know.
5-second rule don't count on Bourbon Street. That mess is nasty.
That is really gross. Like,
that's like instant, like nanoseconds. It just sucks.
As soon as it left his hand, it touched the ground, like right here in the air.
Right there.
It was already dirty.
Oh my god, like seriously, like even like, because American homes aren't made like, you know, Japanese homes where there's a step down for you to leave your shoes and then step up into the house. Like even just having like, I have an area for shoes. A genkan, yeah, but they don't have that here. And so I really want to do something. This is
America, CJ.
I know it's America. But what I'm saying is I have an area for shoes, but it still bothers me that it's so close to inside of my house.
Yeah, I feel that.
So like I really want to eventually get like a carpet area that's huge enough to leave our shoes there and like really separate.
Because I don't feel like they should be outside. I'm like the people that leave their shoes outside. Unless you have really smelly work boots or something, then put them outside. Different.
Yeah.
But even then, I'm like, can you put them in a little container or something? Like, just leaving your shoes outside bothers me.
Outside is not that great. We have cats in the neighborhood. Ain't no telling when they peed and dried up in it.
Right.
But it's no telling what the fuck crawled in there.
Right.
Spiders, some shit.
Like, I have so many pairs of shoes. Like, sometimes I don't get around to wearing them. So, like, I have to shake them out and make sure there's no, like, spiders in them and shit. Like, I just, you know, in general, that's in the house.
Even in the house,
I live in Texas. Like, we got scorpions and
we got scorpions out here too, all in the
you want somebody to move near you? Nigga, no.
What do you mean? It's so much fun down here.
You practically live in Australia. You got all that.
No, it ain't as big as Australia. Australia is a whole nother thing. Anyway,
we got rattlesnakes and shit out here too.
Speaking
coyotes and chupacabras.
We have hyenas too. Like.
How the hell?
How the fuck did you get hyenas?
I don't know. We just did.
Joe Exotic probably had them out there.
He is right there.
There's wild hyenas or like hyenas that got out?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure they're wild. But
God, no.
Fuck that mess.
That's like in California where they'll have like cougars and all type of stuff really just on the trail. I'm just like, no.
Where my sister had soccer practice, it was a sign that said, please beware of the cougars. I'm like,
which one?
There's children playing soccer here. Like, what the fuck?
Is it really talking about Karen?
It was Karen staring at your son. It was Karen.
Oh my God.
No, for real though. So speaking of blackfishing Kylie Jenner, let's talk about these Carrollton High School children who got expelled.
Oh, they're not children. No. If they can make black young men, especially that are like 13 or 12, and give them life.
That's true. That's true.
Like there, because we don't get that same opportunity to be as children and innocent and young.
So
these are adults.
I'm guessing that most people have seen the video of them because, you know, there's that TikTok. There's definitely a TikTok trend that's going where, you know, you put whatever of water into it and say this is the recipe for whatever. And I was just like, okay, but girl had multiple before she even did that. This is another one I found. This one is her putting on a charcoal face mask, and that's not the problem. The problem is her caption. It's "Am I y'all yet?" LMFAO.
But you know, she wanted to blame her boyfriend for poisoning her mind, and her boyfriend turned her racist. No, whoever raised you, whether it's a biological parent or guardians, they pushed their little toxic rhetoric on you and you ate that shit up.
But
I don't blame your boyfriend, but you and your boyfriend probably get along because y'all both pieces of shit.
But here's the thing. I know she put out an apology, but before she did that, took her fake apology. She took to Instagram and had wrote, in quotation, Black people ruined my life. They can't function in society, so they took my future. They're mad at me. And my boyfriend proved the point. All they know is how to do. All they know how to do is act ghetto and racist and low class. White power. I do not care anymore.
Now,
all of that. She is grown enough.
Apology really didn't mean shit.
No. But some people are saying even that post wasn't real. But I was like, let's play the game and say that was something that wasn't real. The damage is already done. Boo.
That video was real. It's her in it and her boyfriend.
So the way I look at it, you guys need to lose any college to get into, because I know, unfortunately, because of your white privilege, some place would accept you.
Oh, yeah. So well, I was telling my family that, and they were like, well, she won't get a job now. Oh, yes, she will.
No, she'll get a job.
She in Georgia.
I'm sure Casey Anthony has a fucking job.
Casey Anthony is ready to support her.
Like, so they'll find jobs, especially Mr. Wrestler, because I guess he was supposed to be like, he was doing some pro wrestling stuff or semi-pro or something. Yeah, no, that was...
You know what my favorite part about this apology? Did you guys read the apology?
Wait a minute, which one? Because I read hers because I posted about it, and I read his and posted about it.
I think it's hers. Yeah, it's sincerely Steph, so it's hers.
It says, I want to... part. It's probably the same as yours.
It said, I want to apologize for the abhorrent video I posted. I know in my heart how wrong it was. My boyfriend is racist and he slowly normalizes racism on me. Bullshit, right? Still, I should never have let him. This part is what got me. I believe Blacks are human too.
That's my favorite part. Because I enjoy just being Blacks, or the Blacks, as the president said.
Look at these, right? She said, I believe Blacks are human too, made in the image of Christ. I have disappointed God and I want to apologize. Please don't contact my college.
That part. That's fun.
It's my future, and one mistake should not ruin a life. Also, please stop with the death threats. Again, I apologize. No. So I went online to check out her Instagram and stuff. I found the original that had very many followers, and then I noticed that somebody had started making fake profiles of her. So people are out here making fake profiles with her, like they're putting nude pictures,
doing fake profiles and doing fake posts.
Oh, it's so crazy.
That was not an apology, and her boyfriend was even worse. Which I think they're both pieces of shit. He's definitely the worst of it. Because he was like, basically lumping in, hey, we saw other videos like this too, but that's not the point. Then why did you bring it up? And then going to say that you don't appreciate your family being attacked because of.
So not only are you racist, but you're not original.
Not original. On top of that, you couldn't be original. And then I'm like, you don't get to tell people how to react about something that you did that was this level of insensitive, knowing that there was the potential of you being caught. But that's the privilege we talk about, because you knew there was potential. You didn't care. You comfortably posted
that part.
And I couldn't post a video talking about how to make cracker ass crackers and sleep well at night, feeling like I'm going to have my future just secure. That's the problem. That's the real problem about this. Not so much how they express themselves, because by this point we already know that's how the president is. So it's not a shocker to us that people that are not.
Yeah, it's never a shocker to the PSC community anymore.
What I get shocked about is just how the fake apologies afterwards, the one.
It's amazing. She said Blacks are human too. Like, nigga, you didn't have to point that out.
The fact that statement has to be made.
Right, that part. That means in her brain, Blacks were not human until this point. You realize that.
Piece of shit for putting it all on her boyfriend. I wonder what he had to say.
I mean, they're pieces of shits to begin with.
And that's probably why they were together. Again, pieces of shit are attracted to each other.
Made for each other. People are made for each other, for real.
And then, like, the person that put the video on blast, she was like, there's a lot of this going on at my high school.
Yeah, she was like, I want y'all to see what it's really like here.
Whistle blowing. So I'm like, so we have a whole community of young people like this that I don't believe are born racist. I just don't believe that. This is something that you're groomed into, already feeling like you are better than everyone else because of your skin tone. And then you are raised by people that also feel that way in a world that caters to you in that way. And you thought this shit was okay. Y'all really need y'all ass to be. You want to be.
Where did this take place?
Carrollton High School in, is it Georgia? Was it Georgia?
I thought it was South Carolina.
Is it South Carolina? It's one of them.
One of them southern states. One of them Confederate.
Which we're going to get into southern states and their
states.
craziness in the second half of this episode. But real quick, before we go on and on, Bill Gates has vaccines. I'm just going to keep it real. Don't take vaccines from somebody who caused the pandemic, okay? Like, yeah, that might get us flagged, but I'm just gonna say it. Like, the nigga was involved in Event 201 to do simulations of the corona. Well, I can't say it. It's the CV.
Do it.
I mean, you can.
Well, I didn't say it all the way. Won't pick it up if I don't say it all the way. But the CV, if you're already doing simulations and you've been talking about this shit, pretty sure don't want anything from you. By the way, he has been administering medication in Africa, like giving medication to children. He is not a licensed
you are Microsoft. You're not a fucking doctor.
No.
You can't do everything.
He's not.
One step at a time, sir. I'm gonna need you to get your credentials up.
That's how you know other shit's going on, because it's not even a matter of what they're originally famous for, what they got the money for. It's because once you're in that tax bracket, you're just around these other people anyway. Kind of like years ago, Jay-Z was in a room with people that I felt like you have nothing in common with other than your wealth. Right. So what are y'all talking about? You know what I mean? Like, what are y'all getting together about? But we just believe in different shit. So it wasn't about his upcoming album. I'll tell you that much.
You know, I had a conversation over the weekend with somebody who hangs out with people up there. And his biggest takeaway is that if you want to make changes in the world, then you have to obviously have one or two things: be famous or have money, or both. You know what I mean? And so in order to do that, you kind of have to play the game. And I think that's what Jay-Z did. I think he played the game.
He played it brilliantly.
Brilliantly. And I think, you know, I even think that Diddy played the game. I think a lot of these guys that are getting slack for being up there in that tax bracket played the game really well. Like, even people like Oprah and Steve Harvey.
You got to play that and really not care about what people are thinking.
That part. You can't care.
If you do, you're not even going to get close to being.
You can't make the changes.
Money and power they have.
So, you know. But that's a good place for a quick break. We'll be right back. And we're going to come back and talk about all the crazy governors all over the state.
All hundreds of them?
Hundreds of them.
All the hundreds of governors we have.
Oh, no. I forgot about that. Let's add that in. We'll be right back.
And we're back, bitches.
We back. All right. So we were leaving with governors. When they say hundreds and hundreds of governors. I don't know about you, but every time I hear their president talk, I always just like, it reminds me of how kids who didn't comprehend shit they read in school would just regurgitate things that they're reading. You know what I mean? Like, nothing is sticking to, you can tell that it's not sticking up here.
Every time I hear him talk, I just get pissed because I'm like, Obama could have never.
My God. But like,
he could have never.
The fact, fact that he thinks that there's hundreds of governors when each state has one and he governor. Meant it. He meant all of it.
Meant it.
This right here, we have hundreds and hundreds of governors calling me every day. And I'm just like...
Put him on mute, Mr. President.
Who is calling your ass? Ain't nobody calling you. That's the problem.
Me, like, everybody got your direct number? Like,
no, here's the problem. Because he basically is letting every governor fend for themselves, which is why we're having such an issue controlling the CV and trying to flatten the curve, right?
Oh, yes, everybody's doing what they want.
Right.
Friends that are in Georgia, their governor is definitely like, hey, we're going to go ahead and just really push this open.
Let's talk about that, because there are, 5 governors that I wrote down on my notes today. All of them southern states, except for one. But the one doesn't count because they're not really actually opening. So 5, I guess. One's Georgia, that's Kemp. McMaster from South Carolina, Lee from Tennessee, DeSantis from Florida, and of course Abbott from Texas. So basically, all of them have said that they're going to be allowing retailers and stores in certain different, sectors to open back up before May or around May 1st or 2nd, which to me is insane because nothing has changed. Like, none of this has gone, like, nothing has flattened out to the point that I feel like, oh, it's safe to go the fuck outside. Like, I mean, we'll still go out.
The timing makes sense because y'all just want people to spend this little check.
Listen,
so y'all are opening up certain places because y'all want this money put back into the economy. That's what you want.
Rob showed me a picture early one morning that day that somebody snapped a photo at Walmart with like pallets of $500 smart TVs in the middle, you know, in front of electronics. That same night, guess what was sold out? Guess what was sold out?
And I'm just like, if
all
y'all
them TVs
before, like, what are you doing? And
it's
you
like
don't
the Chappelle Show.
It really is.
Oh my God, it's exactly like
it's that. It's exactly like the Chappelle Show.
I'm rich, bitch.
I'm not sure if people comprehend that it's probably not the best idea to do this. And let's talk, I mean, seriously, we're over 2.5 million people infected right now. Globally. 2.5 million. That's a lot of people. Like, oh, there's a hailstorm warning. And
although that there's a lot of people recovering, and it's not something that everyone's dying from, I still don't think that means that we should take it lightly. And I think that's why people do take it lightly. We're not saying that we don't believe you when there is like fear mongering going on amongst the media, because there is. And I get that, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to take this seriously just because everybody that gets it isn't dying. I'm going to take this seriously.
That part. And, you know, they're like, oh, all these people are recovering, blah, blah, blah. But remember when I said like the 20/80 rule applies to everything? I know I've brought this up before too. So I'm looking at the numbers. It hasn't changed in weeks. There's 20% of the people who have been diagnosed with an outcome, whether they died or recovered. 20% of those were deaths. 80% were recovered. So that means if you know 10 people who have the virus, 2 of those people are going to die. That's a lot for me personally. I don't know about anybody else. Like, if you know 10 motherfuckers that got it, 2 of those people are going to die. No, so if you think about it in terms of people who are in the medical profession right now, in hotspot areas especially, their colleagues are dying at the same rate that the patients are, because it doesn't like discriminate against whatever you have, whether you have I mean, of course, if you're more elderly or have issues with your body already, it's likelier for you to die from it, but
there are still people that are healthy.
There's so many people who are healthy who just fucking got it.
All different age ranges, and you just don't want to risk it. Also, to those people that like to repost those memes or even make them, where they're saying, hey, diabetes or this kills this many people every year. No one says
I know.
The common cold will kill this many people. The majority of the things that I have seen, not all the things, but the majority of the things I've seen that people are saying this against have cures or are preventable.
That part.
So when it has a cure or it's preventable, you can't say, well, hey, there are people that die from A, B, and C, when there's preventable lifestyle changes that can go into effect to change this. And you're not at that stage with this. So this is a different ballgame.
You know what gets me is the same people who post that also post that, like, I guess I don't understand why you can compare it to the flu vaccine, but then say that the CV will disappear. The flu never disappeared. It keeps coming back with a new strain. So if you are logically telling me that you believe it's like the flu, then you must realize that it needs a vaccine for us to beat it next year. Well, like, it makes no sense to me that you think that this is going to...
Unless you guys are cool with being quarantined every fucking year.
Like...
I know. I will say
February through fucking
every year.
Wait a minute. I'm not.
July.
However, if I'm quarantined and there's a better plan into effect, okay. Meaning, if you guys already have it to where, all right, there is a temporary freeze for these 3 months if this is a new way of life. So
right.
You guys don't
like rent is on freeze for 3 months.
Right. You don't have to. And
payments of bills.
It's not a pause. It's forgiveness. It's okay for these 3 months. We already know. We got to handle this as a nation.
So we got to like chill.
You know what I mean? Then you're not tripping. I think so many people are tripping because this came out of nowhere. So bills aren't being paid out of nowhere. Lifestyles are being changed out of nowhere. And that's where a lot of people also are bucking against being told what to do, because inherently nobody wants to be told what to do.
Of course. But here's the thing.
Have you guys heard about those protests going on in Michigan?
I was just getting into it. Michigan, I have found this meme. I'm going to post it tomorrow where they say conservatives, just obey the authority. They tell that to Black people when they're getting arrested, to cops, right? And they tell
comply.
Just comply and obey authority when Mexicans are taken to the camps at the border, right? And now that it affects them, they're like, I have the right to be free. So you can't like believe in all the authority that's happening. Like, I don't understand where they draw the line. And I'm like, so if you are so into other people obeying authority, why is it so hard for you? And I know the answer. I'm being rhetorical. Obviously, the answer is that your ass is privileged and you think that you are not bound by any of these other fucking authority figures because you're high and mighty about it. That's how they feel about it. But the fact that, that protest was supposed to be in a car as well. They weren't supposed to go out and do all of that either.
But they don't give a fuck. Those people up there did not give a fuck.
They don't.
Just like unlawful search and seizure. You have a cop that pulls you over for unlawful search and seizure. Mm-hmm. You have your rights to do whatever the fuck you want to do. But a lot of people that express those rights, they're not here anymore.
No.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. But you get to do what the fuck you want to do in the middle of a fucking worldwide pandemic. Take your ass home.
Pretty much.
You know what I'm saying? And God forbid all those motherfuckers get sick.
You know what's crazy?
You see what I'm saying?
Those
and then when you get
were
sick,
all
and that
conservatives.
This may seem bitchy, but if you get sick because you were out and didn't have to be out, I don't feel bad for you. I've told people that I'm close with, friend-wise, like, look, I saw you out, because people still put stuff on Facebook. Because you just had to drive. One person drove like maybe about 40 minutes to an hour out to meet up with a buddy of his or whatever. And I was like, if you get sick, I'm not going to feel bad for you. And another person I'm very close with, she took her kids out to the park or something like that. And they look like they were isolated or what have you. But again, if you get sick, I'm
at the park.
not
if
going
they
to feel
play
bad
at the playground, is anybody disinfecting the motherfucking playground?
That's one thing. That's one thing. So my whole issue is, I just bought myself a bike the other day. And I'm going to ride that motherfucker. Because if a motherfucker tells me that I'm going to catch any virus from riding a fucking bike by myself, your ass is full of shit.
Well, let me tell you this. They did a study about trails and stuff. If you're going more than 4 miles per hour and you're breathing hard without a mask on, that spray is going to the person behind you. So if you're biking,
I'm not riding where it's nobody near me.
Okay.
It's my whole thing.
Is it going to be like
you
Venus?
You still have to social distance. It's going to be like Venus. You got to social distance regardless. I'm not going to be anywhere around a bunch of people. You know what I'm saying?
It's okay. So we're still going back and forth with this. D, if you don't have to be out the house, don't leave the house.
No.
And that's why we're going to be in the house for.
No. Because you cannot tell me, okay, there's one thing. I know I'm not a scientist. Mm-hmm. I'm not a doctor, but I'm also not an idiot. I cannot catch a virus from being outside in the middle of the desert alone. I'm sorry. If I drive
the desert
maybe. So we didn't say you could. So even if we leave that alone, what part of, hey, stay in the house are people like you not fucking getting? Because what I hear, I'm not agreeing with what you said, because I agree with what you said. But the flip side of that is I want to do what the fuck I want to do. So if we have millions of people on their own level, because there's somebody out there, millions like you, that think, hey, if I decide to go and just, go to a kickback at a friend's house, there's only 6 of us. It doesn't fucking matter. We all keep it clean. Everyone's going to make their own excuses to do what they want. I would much rather have somebody just be real and say, I want to do what I want to do when I want to do it. Because that's what it is on all levels.
But at the end of the day,
yourself, or whether you're with a small group of people.
I'm within the law. I'm within the law at the end of the day, because it states groups of 5 or less. If I'm 1, I'm within the law.
It's 0 here.
I'm like, as far as I know, I'm like, I thought everybody was at 0, but
it's 0 if you're shelter in place right now. It's not 5 or less. It's 0.
5 or less here.
But here's my question, D, since we're talking probabilities and stuff, because I like to be the devil's advocate as well. If you go to this said desert, and like Brandi said, somebody else had the same idea to do that, right? But they were there an hour and a half before you were there and rode around on their bicycle and coughed up a storm. That shit lingers in the air for 3 hours.
It's outside though. We have wind.
I know.
The desert here is windy as fuck. That shit is gotten infected everybody else.
I know.
When they're standing in their front lawns.
But I guess my question is, what if 1 in 100 chance that droplet lands on you and you take it home with you?
No, it's worth the risk.
It's the same as going to the damn grocery store. I'm at more risk in the grocery store than I am in the desert by myself. That's not the point.
If I'm in the grocery store, it's because I have to be. I don't have to go see Venus. I don't have to have a kickback party with my friends. That's the goddamn.
Not gonna lie, I thought she said penis.
If I'm gonna catch it, it needs to be because we needed fucking food. Not because I just had to leave the goddamn house.
I guess, so here's the thing.
You're not going to catch it by yourself in a desert is my point. At the end of the day, it's not happening.
Now, the percentage from the grocery store being maybe 25% to the desert being 0.25%.
1 in a million?
0.25%. Yeah.
1 in a million.
It's super low.
It's super low. I get it.
Yeah.
But I understand both sides of this argument because
it's
I
not
get
like
what
I'm
Dee
trying
saying.
to go, I want everything to open up and be at a restaurant or be... at a concert, that's stupid. But if I'm by myself, just like I'm in the house, by myself, in the car, by myself, that's
stupid.
Different.
What's stupid is you leaving the house when you don't have to. What's stupid is
I'm
caring about you way too much. You know what? Risk your life.
I'm by myself.
Not risk your life.
Risk it. We risk our life every day we walk out the door. We don't know what's going to happen. But I'm leaving right now.
Oh, bye. Oh, no, come back. No, I get it.
And I'm waiting until they open.
I can't. But you know what? Somebody posted this really funny one. It's just a bunch of those protesters in Michigan, and it's on the bottom.
That's stupid.
Yeah, but here's this is what they wrote. They wrote, I mean, you have to admit it's hilarious that people who have spent their entire lives stockpiling beans and ammo and publishing newsletters about preparing to shelter in place during a global crisis are the ones having meltdowns because they can't go to the Cheesecake Factory.
Not the Cheesecake Factory.
I mean, they're not wrong.
Shame.
I just want to go to the desert. These motherfuckers want to go to the Cheesecake Factory.
You can go to the desert, D. They
want to go to the Cheesecake Factory.
Do you think he needed your permission? He's going to do what he wanted to do anyway.
Regardless.
Regardless.
Okay?
But I will tell you this. You know what's crazy? Speaking of crazy things that people say, Obama had actually talked about this 5 years ago. I don't know if y'all remember.
Of course we don't remember. See, Jesus Christ. I don't know if you guys knew.
Why don't you remember anything?
People knew. All these elites, they know shit before
it happens. They do know.
They probably talked about it at
the way he said it was crazy. And I'll send you all the video. It's like 2 minutes long. You can watch it later.
Yes, with the owl. Yes.
Yeah. But no.
They named the owl Corona.
Right?
Stop.
I know. So,
we call it Coco.
Yeah, Coco. Oh my God, can we call it that from now on, Coco?
Coco.
I'm in love with the Coco. You get it.
Disclaimer, no lyrics or songs are ours. They be just singing shit, and I have to put a disclaimer in. But anyway, but no, so Obama was talking about this 5 years ago. And I'm just wondering if they already knew all of this and putting it out.
What do you mean wondering? You know they did.
I mean, yeah.
Knew that shit.
And also, I just want to kind of lay this to rest. People think that the 5G towers have something to do with it. They do, but not in the way that some videos are going around.
So what are the videos saying? Some
of the videos are saying that there's no actual virus, that it's the 5G putting poison into our cells and they're reacting to it. Because if that's the case, it would be everybody. And I'm not down for that crazy bullshit. Like, listen, I like digging into conspiracy theories, but I definitely debunk some stupid bullshit before I even talk about it. But I will say this. There's a lot of earthquakes happening, which means that they're digging. Which means that there's some kind of connection there. I just don't know what it is, so I can't say what it is, obviously. But for all these states that usually don't have earthquakes have them, and also the weird weather, I just got a hailstorm warning for Texas.
Why the fuck did we have one the other day here? I'm like, it's not even monsoon season. I can see.
But here's the thing.
Here in Vegas, this shit happens like late July, early August.
But is it because, so it's one of two things, right? One, is it geoengineering, and does it have to do with all this shit that's going on behind the scenes and people are making this weather happen? Or Is it because all of us are inside and nature's taking over and trying to reacclimate what it's supposed to be? Because if you think about it, spring used to be cooler, right? So it makes sense that
it fucking snowed here. So.
Yeah, spring used to be cooler because I remember thinking when I learned about the 4 seasons, springtime still has snow back in the day. Like, it's very recent that, like, the end of spring is where flowers are supposed to be, you know, because they say April showers, right?
Bring May
flowers.
I'm sorry, that phrase still makes me happy.
Like in kindergarten again.
I'm like, oh my God, it rhymes. Let's do this together.
Right. No, but so if you think about it, that had to come from somewhere, which means that definitely rainy season all the way to April, right? And it's kind of back into that. It's snowing, it's raining, it's been hailing, it's been all of that stuff. Like Japan had, I forgot to post it, I don't know why. Japan had like hailstorms, rainstorms, snowstorms, and windstorms all in the same day, different locations. And obviously Japan's a smaller landmass, so they're going to be able to hit all of that at once. But it's kind of weird that it's happening here. And they're talking about more earthquakes in Japan that are over 9.1 magnitude. So
what I'm going to be like super interested in,
9?
because I believe in a lot of what they're doing with
off the coast.
I'm interested to see between May and July, or really the whole hurricane season. I'm interested to see what happens there this year.
Ooh, that's July to November.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, to push back further.
Yeah.
I'm definitely
September's
interested to see
yeah.
what that's about, because it kind of seems like, depending on what's going on politically and socially, I've noticed, like, because I'm one of those crazy people too that'll start charting stuff. So I'm like, man, when Hurricane Katrina happened, this was also happening in the White House, and this was also happening here. And there's just too much stuff that happens in the world to look at everything like a coincidence. Like,
it is. Oh, push pin, like Brandi says, push pin. Push pin. So Hurricane Katrina, I worked with a girl who fled the Katrina incident back in the day. You know what she told me one day? Just out of the blue, we were talking about conspiracy theories, and she said that her area got flooded, but before the flooding happened, she said there were explosions that happened near her house.
To break the levees? Bitch.
Yes.
They pulled a 9/11.
That's what she was saying. She was like, you can't ever tell other people. I was like, I'm going to tell people. I'm just going to leave your name out.
CJ's like, what?
Don't tell CJ stuff like that. I mean, like, you know, I'm never going to tell anybody who it was. But the fact that she even mentioned it just in randomness, because she's not, the person that I was talking to about this is definitely not a conspiracy theory person. She's far from it. Like, as a matter of fact, she's like gun-ho, church-going Christian girl, like super in that sense. So when she brought that up, it actually surprised me, because I would have never thought a conversation like that would come about with her. But the fact that she was like, literally, it sounded like bombs went off. And then it flooded. I was like, so you telling me they like broke it down? She was like, that's what it looked like. I was like, oh, hell no. We don't have time for that. Not anymore. Before we wrap it up, because I don't want to go too far in with this, we talked about almost everything.
We did. And it's,
by the way, those fucking 5G towers, they're hiding them in different things like trees, cactus, lampposts.
So you cactus or cacti?
Cacti. Thank you.
Sorry, I just can't miss a chance to correct her.
Correct, CJ.
Let's play a game. Find where CJ is wrong. It's gonna be a tough one.
I don't mind being wrong. It's not a problem. I'm okay with.
Because I'm in my track record, you know.
Basically,
99.997%.
She's like, a bitch is never wrong. So she's like, I'm like hand sanitizer. 99.9% of the time.
What is this voice that you guys have gotten into with the fucking jerseyness? What is this? I can't. No, for real though. Like. They like somebody, I think it was Sheree, had sent me some videos about it. She was like, you think it's real? I was like, oh, it's real. Then I pulled up some stuff, because now they really are hiding it as lampposts, cacti, and trees. Cactuses. That's my Asianness.
All hundreds of them.
I know, it's kind of crazy. And you know, so I don't think people realize that those towers are standing in their neighborhood. One of them, I didn't even notice. Rob actually pointed it out. It was just a black pole with nothing on it. There's no like those triangle things like 4G. It doesn't have any of that. It's just a black pole. It looks like a black lamppost with no lamp on it. Crazy. I was like, no.
And then when you think about the stuff that's out there like that, it's like you have to be able to open up your mind to there's like a lot.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like
a lot.
I'm just not ready to dig into that. There's a lot of crazy things. You guys know what 5G does, right? Do you guys know what that
it
does?
Actually straightens my hair and clears
does it? No.
Yes, that's what it does.
No, so
I just started doing research on that after you, and shout out to Cherie. Started talking about it more, and then I started talking to my sister because I was like, wait a minute, what have I missed?
Yeah, so they're working on like a global kind of like a smart grid, and it basically it's like a matrix basically, and it like allows hyper super speedy connections between the things you want to do and the things that need to happen. So in a technological sense, it's very nice. You can like think about ordering an Uber and just say Uber and it'll show up at your fucking door. You don't even have to go through like the steps that you do right now. But
I don't even like that shit.
I don't either.
Uber wants your mom's soul firstborn and $87.
I'm saying, but it's basically it's going to connect. I think they slowly kind of made us get used to it, because if you have like a Google Home, it's all connected. Your TV's connected, your phone's connected, your laptop's connected. Like the update I just had wanted me to connect my laptop to my phone, and I was like, maybe not this time. We'll do it later, see how this goes. You know what I mean? There's just everything is connected. Like you can connect your fridge, your fucking oven, your dishwasher, your washer and dryer. Everything is connectable, and I don't know if I'm ready to be in the Jetsons live action.
Let me tell you, I went over a friend's house.
Not the Jetson live action.
Yeah,
I would much rather live not like that.
No, but
I went to a friend's house and I rang the doorbell. Friends with two people. They're roommates, a guy and a girl. So I ring the doorbell and I hear a voice say, "He'll be there in a minute," and I'm like, "What?" It's the female roommate watching me through her phone. She's 20 miles away.
Oh, that's me.
Watching me.
My ass.
And she's like, "He'll be there in a minute." I'm like, "Okay." She's like, "Yeah, he's coming out the room right now." I'm like, "How the fuck do you know?"
Because there's cameras.
You're at work. Cameras everywhere. So if you can do that within your own house, just imagine how shit is with the government.
Because we have the door. we have the Ring doorbell
with the government.
With the government.
Because when people come over, you know how we are. POC don't like to open the door if it's not announced. So when people like ring the doorbell, I'll be getting up on my phone. I'll be like, "Hello? No, I don't want your services. Have a good day." I don't even open the door. Fuck that shit. Like, it's too crazy for me.
Too crazy.
But anyways, to end this on a funny note, I just watched a girl get dragged.
Why do we both do this? Why are we the same person?
So creepy.
I love him so much. I can't. He is really my soulmate. You know what I mean? Because I think soulmates have to be your husband.
Yes, I believe friends and family members.
I think
D is your soulmate.
My soulmate.
I think it takes a strong person to deal with Brandi, and I think D is it.
Wow. I don't like how you said that shit.
Yeah, I was like, shit.
He sounds strong.
It take a crazy motherfucker to deal with somebody like her.
I think y'all have to match crazies to be with each other's like spirit. You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't take it too far with D. I respect his crazy enough not to be disrespectful.
Well, that's what I mean. That you guys know your boundaries, but you can also engage and be engaged in each other's crazy enough.
Let me tell you when I knew D was my soulmate. When I was apologizing for shit that happened years ago, he was like, "Why would you apologize for being you?"
See? Takes a strong one. Takes a strong one.
You said, "What did he do that
at?" I'm so done.
I said, okay.
Never mind.
Never mind that I'm not.
I can't. No, anyway, so hey, by the way, if you guys are listening to this, you should really go check us out on YouTube, because we're way funnier if you get to see our facial expressions and the shenanigans that go on visually. So, but last little bit, this girl got dragged on Twitter, on Black Twitter, this white girl.
Loved it.
Did you? Was it yours that I was reading?
All of it, and it was so
a Black girl was, first world problem comments and complaints talking about, I wish the hair store was open so I could get my hair and do my hair and blah, blah, blah. I'm just paraphrasing. But this white girl came on and talked about sallybeauty.com. If there's something called online stores and you could order shit, and Black Twitter came through. They was like, we do not go to Sally beauty shops. Like, listen, Sally's, they don't even carry my skin tone.
Sally's, I feel like Sally's I've gone to, and you're clear. No, Sally's is good if you're trying to get stuff, I would say, for your nails, because I will go there for
nail polish.
Nails.
That's it.
I have never checked for Sally for my skin tone.
Somebody had the most accurate description of Sally, though. They was talking about old white ladies and teenagers who go in to buy hair dye, to dye their hair. My teenager goes to buy hair dye. And I see old white ladies in there buying shit.
That's true, though. That's true.
Like, so, Sally's is not for Black folks.
But the fact that she was on Black Twitter trying to give...
Girl...
How did you even get it on this side?
First of all, the cockiness of her presentation, first of all. There's a online store.
And then I think she tagged Sally's, and I'm like, Sally's don't want no part.
No, Sally's was like, we don't want part of Black Twitter. They didn't respond.
Sally's did not ask for this smoke.
Sally's don't have one packet of yak, not on their wall, not on their
floor.
What?
No, wait a minute now. I'm going to help you out, Sally. Wait a minute. Sally's used to the Sally's that I went to either when I was in Omaha or Kansas City. I don't remember which one. It was one of those Midwestern cities. I will never forget a Sally's actually having, it was a very small aisle.
I'm sure.
Black girl aisle at Walmart. It was a very thin aisle, but they had hair. It was, I lied twice. This was in Pensacola, Florida, baby. They had tracks. And this was 2005 or 6, and I could pick up Yaki hair and stuff.
But it's Pensacola.
That was a limited time, baby.
And that was probably not anywhere near right now. Because listen, I have never stepped foot into Sally's and been like, oh my God, I have to have this. Like, I usually end up going there because my kiddo went. And I think I've gone there on my own in Nebraska because that was the only thing available, just to see if they had shit, because the Walmart wasn't cutting it neither. And neither was the Hy-Vee or the Super Saver or anything in that nature up there. But like, I ended up actually buying shit from the Mrs. Brown, who did my hair. But like, seriously, like, let's make sure that if you're going to get on Black Twitter to make a comment, you know what you are talking about. Because if you don't, you're gonna get dragged. And I'm pretty sure that
we can't wait, honestly. Like, we clearly have a gift for dragging people, and we love it.
like I read the other day, and I was telling my kiddo, I was like, we show love by burning people. That's what we do.
Yes.
Listen.
That's why I can't wait.
Which is why.
Demetrius's birthday party.
A roast.
I'm getting drugged on May 2nd.
Yes.
So May 2nd is my birthday. If you want to be a part of this, please make sure that you RSVP. Check our Instagram, The Triangle. Yes. Very plain and simple, just like the name of the channels on all the platforms. Triangle on Instagram. There's an invitation there for you.
Yep.
Just make sure you follow the instructions on the invitation. We'll be sure to send you instructions on how to log in.
Yes.
I'm going to have prizes for the raffle if you log in.
You're doing a raffle?
You saw it. Did you read the flyer? He said raffles.
I thought, I must have misread that.
I read it. I was like, okay, he's
Listen, so with all of that said, if you do want to go ahead and RSVP and you don't want to look for stuff, because I know how some of y'all are. Yeah, I said it.
Listen, y'all don't be wanting to read or nothing. My birthday, I'm surprised how many people were able to get on because they did not want to read instructions. They did not want to follow instructions.
Easy to do. If you feel like doing the RSVP right now as you're listening to this, go ahead and type in the subject line roast, ROAST, and send that email to the triangle at gmail, and that's going to be the number 3 TRIANGL, no E, triangle, the triangle, the triangle. At gmail.com.
TH3 triangle without the E.
Yep.
THC triangle.
No, TH3. TH3 triangle without the E gmail.com. And on that note, I'd like to say if you've enjoyed us thus far, please make sure that you are subscribed to your favorite podcast platform. And if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, and hit that notification button, bell, whatever it is. Check out our other videos. I know y'all are bored. Just play us in the background.
Really are doing nothing.
You don't laugh your ass off. I'm telling you.
Don't let Brandi find out you're going to look at stars in the desert. She will come for that ass.
I will, because I care about you guys staying safe. So don't leave the house unless you have to.
You know what I'm saying? Sit your ass down somewhere. Just be
like,
safe.
Y'all not going to make me feel bad for wanting y'all safe. Like, I refuse.
Sit down. Just sit down. Like Auntie used to tell you. Like Grandma used to tell you. Sit your ass down somewhere. Don't go nowhere. You ain't got nothing to go. Ain't nothing happening right now. It's the pandemic. Ain't nobody need to be out past 6 p.m. Ain't nobody needs to be out. Remember when our parents used to say that? What's happening after midnight? Ain't nothing good happening after midnight.
Open. I would hear nothing's open but legs and 7-Eleven after a certain time of leaving the house. And I'm just like, God dog, like.
Ain't nothing open but legs after 6 p.m. right now. Don't go nowhere.
Open but legs.
But seriously though, and also thank you to all the people who are actually working out there in the medical field, truckers.
Leslie.
Yes, Leslie, medical field, truckers, all the people in retail that are open, grocery stores, and
military personnel.
Yes.
Military personnel, for sure.
I could not stop, won't stop.
Anyway, have a blessed day. Sit your ass down somewhere, and we will see you in a little while. Peace out.
Bye.